Additionally, Complex released their list of the top 10 women in sports. And Angel Reese will not be happy about this because, well, she lost to Caitlin Clark for the top spot. As if breaking records on the court wasn't enough, Caitlin Clark secured another huge victory without even putting on her sneakers. Complex named her the most influential female athlete, solidifying her position as the biggest name in sports at the moment. I guess she defeated Angel Reese, who isn't taking it well, so it's been difficult. Reese is frantically trying to find excuses to act as though this honor isn't significant. Let's face it, if she had won, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. Instead of celebrating someone else's success, Reese is doing what she does best, downplaying Clark's accomplishments and spending more time on TikTok than in the gym, announcing the top 10 most. These women are setting the standard. If this is a top 10 list, then sitting at the top of that list, there is only one right answer and one correct choice. Let's get this straight. This isn't just about an award, it's about who the fans genuinely care about. One player has people tuning in for her jaw-dropping skill, and the others are all well-known. These athletes are reshaping culture right now. She is well-known for making headlines for everything but basketball. One side views this as a rivalry, but let's face it, it's not much of a competition when one player is truly winning. My whole situation was that when I was selected number 7, I thought, hey, cool. Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out. Trying to F. Now that we have everything figured out, let's dissect why Clark won this award. What makes her influence so evident? And most importantly, why Angel Reese is acting as though she was just wrong. We're going to dive into the numbers, the impact, and the hilarious aftermath. And Angel Reese won't like this because, well, she was defeated by Caitlin Clark for number 1. So we're going to look at that. I think it's hilarious. I'll tell you straight. Caitlin Clark broke 62 records in a single season. Let that sink in. This isn't just about making history. It's about rewriting the entire record book. No player in WNBA history has ever dominated like this. And we're only in year 1. I expect to be among the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that. More history for the F rookie at this point. I think a lot of good will come from that. The Indiana Fever were struggling for relevance in the league's basement before Caitlin Clark arrived, and they made the playoffs for the first time in almost 10 years. This isn't just individual greatness. It's team-changing dominance. A woman who has been pushing women's basketball for the better part of 3 years is changing culture. Caitlin Clark has men watching women's basketball. And let's not forget about the off-court. The WNBA merchandise sales exploded by 500% in her rookie season. That's not a typo. And jerseys, t-shirts, and memorabilia were flying off the shelves at a rate that WNBA had never seen before. And you already know who wasn't selling out. The fact that Caitlin Clark's jerseys were gone in a matter of minutes, while Angel Reese's were just sitting there collecting dust, isn't just about jersey sales. Clark's influence is redefining the entire league's economy. Viewership is at an all-time high, and arenas that once struggled to sell tickets are now packed. However, only when Clark is in town do teams that used to beg people to come scramble to expand their seating just to handle the demand, so that's what they got on her. Caitlin Clark. Okay, when Clark, that should surprise us. Her dominance on the court has dispelled long-held beliefs about women's sports and demonstrated that women's basketball can be just as marketable and popular as men's. Caitlin Clark's influence is transforming the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone has increased WNBA attendance by 105%, and sports economists are astounded by her influence. One of the biggest names in sports business, Lavio, compared her to Michael Jordan in terms of how she's boosting the game's visibility and value. And to be honest, she's right, because when we went to see Caitlin Clark at a WNBA game in Washington, D.C., when the Washington Mystics were playing, They announced that they had to move the game from the Washington Mystics WNBA arena to the actual Washington arena where the Wizards play, and it was filled with fans. It was sold out to see Caitlin Clark. Something that didn't happen the day before when they traveled to Chicago to play Angel Reese. Let's talk about the numbers. Clark's rookie season alone generated just one player spent an incredible $36 million for Indianapolis, and it's only the beginning. Experts estimate that Clark's ascent will add $1 to the total worth of women's basketball. $6 billion in the next 3 years, yes, $1 billion with a B. However, I'm talking about value here. Value to a league, value to a franchise, and value to a league getting your eye can find value in that. She's changing the future of an entire league, attracting new fans, generating enormous revenue, and making women's basketball a must-watch sport on television. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player each and every year because of what he meant to his team and the league. Oh, and the fact that Caitlin Clark has won 6 titles is undeniable. And even though Las Vegas is still a fantastic team, it's no secret that she is performing at a high level. I mean, 26 and 12 are fantastic numbers for any player, regardless of how long they had in the league. Meanwhile, Angel Reese is still trying to figure out why she wasn't named most influential. Perhaps if she focused more on improving her game and less on whining on social media, she would realize you understand what I mean when I say that this is about athletic ability. When you look at Caitlin Clark's game, which is very similar to Steph Curry's in terms of her shooting the 3 in range, along with everything else she does, you look at Angel Reese. Stop it. There's a guy on the internet who makes me laugh a lot on TikTok, and he's put together a ton of clips of Angel Reese, and it says, Angie's part 36, and it shows her going up for another layup. She misses B, and I mean, this guy is the funniest. Yeah. Seems as disorganized as a baby giraffe, Caitlin Clark's path to these awards may seem inevitable, but the true story is much more complex. Think about Angel Reese, who is hailed as Clark's fiercest rival. The media framed their rivalry as the final conflict, a season-long conflict that had fans enthralled. But let's face it, was it ever really close to saying that Angel Reese was superior to Caitlin Clark? Rodman was superior to Ben Wallace was superior to Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was superior to LeBron. I shouldn't have to mention that Angel Reese is a bad defender from the beginning because the media pushed the story of 2 rookies competing for WNBA supremacy. But as the season went on, the gap became painfully clear. This wasn't a matchup of equals, rather one player dominated the league, while the other spent more time in the headlines than the box office. Oh, Rhea 3 on 3 part 13. Let's get it. Classic long 2B PS. No rims or backboards were damaged in the process of making this video, and viewers are urged to look away. She said that she might quit if the WNBA doesn't give her the money she deserves, saying that $1 million for each missed layup is fair. That Penning Queen is being treated fairly. Then came Rookie of the Year and the first team from the entire WNBA. That's when it was revealed that Clark didn't just win. She ran away with it. The so-called competition wasn't even close, and Reese wasn't exactly graceful in defeat. Imagine losing a race by a wide margin and then calling for a recount. But her fame and attention are a direct result of Caitlin Clark's victory in the national championship. And she makes fun of her teammate and doesn't even celebrate with her, making it personal. However, the truth is that Clark's success isn't about awards or personal rivalries. She's not just trying to win trophies. She's changing the WNBA. While she's expanding the game, breaking attendance records, and attracting millions of new fans, Reese is still trying to convince people that she's on par with Clark. Passing in two-handed full-court touchdown basketball history, both for men and women, but her passing, I'm talking about bounce passing and two-handed full-court touchdown passes. Things like this, which is I don't see in the WNBA. That's not to say Reese hasn't helped the WNBA grow, though. skinny white girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league. However, let's face it, Clark is attracting fans for her game, while Reese is receiving attention for everything but her skills. It's like watching two entirely different paths to relevance, one built on greatness and the other on controversy. This is the WNBA Most Influential Athlete Award, and it's not just another trophy. Not everyone is excited about Clark's rise, of course. Some WNBA veterans and legends have pushed back, arguing that too much attention on one player could overshadow others. It's safe to say that this is a turning point for the WNBA. But let's face it, where was all this energy before Clark arrived? If the league wanted widespread attention, they had years to build it instead. She's not just breaking records, she's expanding the league's reach. Now, some critics claim that Caitlin Clark's hype could create unrealistic expectations or overshadow team play, but guess what? That's exactly what the WNBA needs. Basketball is a star-driven sport, and the league finally has a superstar that commands attention. Caitlin Clark's arrival and flipping the script to get the WN to this level, Tia Wilson is her name, means that no matter what we all do as Black women, we're still going to be swept under the rug. Everyone benefits from the WNBA, so while Angel Reese is reeling from her defeat, Caitlin Clark is out there winning bigger than ever, whether her detractors like it or not. No amount of whining will change that. However, now you're going to cut down 22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has changed the game on her own, brought in millions of other young fans. How about college basketball's record ratings? How about the WNBA relatively brief career? For years, critics have argued that the WNBA should do a better job of marketing its players rather than focusing on just one or two stars. While that is a valid point, there is no doubting that Clark's presence has been the biggest catalyst for change the league has ever seen. The truth is that people love watching greatness, and Clark isn't just winning awards. She's redefining what's possible in the sport. Her dominance and ability to command attention are demonstrating that women's basketball is incredible entertainment. Why should we stop? Let's celebrate Caitlin Clark's greatness and her courage to keep going. Take a moment to reflect on this. Clark not only broke records, but also shattered them into pieces. She's forcing everyone to rethink what a single WNBA season can look like. The expectations for rookie teams and even the league itself have completely changed as a result of her, and she is inspiring young players and elevating the sport as a whole. What's next for Clark and Reese? Their alleged rivalry has done wonders for drawing attention to the league. But let's face it, it's only a rivalry on one side. Clark is focused on winning, while Reese is focused on staying relevant, whether you like it or not. Their dynamic is putting the WNBA in the spotlight like never before. Kane Clark, Eagle Girl, don't listen to these people. Keep going strong. And remember this the next time these two square off. It isn't just about competition. It's about the WNBA evolution.
Every game they play is an opportunity to expand the sport, set records, and attract new fans.
The Caitlin Clark era is already here. The only question is who is prepared to take over and continue. Most definitely not Angel Reese. What do you think about Clark's dominance? Is it good for the WNBA? Or is she leaving the rest of the league in the dust? Please leave a comment, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you there the following one.